What's up, guys? It's Coach Caglione here, and this is another edition of the Powerlifting for the People podcast. We got my man Brandon here today. How you doing?
How's it going?
This podcast it's our first sponsored podcast, sponsored by Flip Flops and Big Squats. So we're getting ready for a squat session today. Just kidding, guys. No sponsors. But there are some links in the description below you can check out if you want to support. So Brandon's one of our local teammates here. He's been doing really well. Still kind of new to powerlifting, so just really quick, can you just tell people listening and people watching a little bit about yourself, what you got going on right now? Just
working full time and powerlifting in the evenings. Just trying to squat big.
There you go. So can you tell us a little bit about like your kind of past? I know you played some sports and stuff growing up. What was like kind of your athletic background like, and how did you kind of just first like kind of get into lifting?
I played football from Pee-wees all the way up to, I guess, about 10th grade. I broke my arm pretty bad and was told to stop playing full contact sports and whatnot. Played lacrosse as well. Then got into college and
how'd you get that injury?
I was riding my bicycle.
Okay, so just kind of
trying to be a daredevil. And
was that when you had that injury? What was kind of going through your head, and like what like kind of were you kind of upset that you had to stop playing, or like what was?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah, been doing sports pretty much my entire life by that point, and had to call it quits.
Yeah.
So I found other things to do.
Sure.
So worked out in the end.
And then so you did some sports, and you kind of stopped. So what kind of like transpired from that injury, and then how did you kind of get into lifting weights and all that stuff?
Well, I didn't really do much, weightlifting wise through college, or a little bit here and there maybe. I tried playing rugby for a short amount of time, about 2 weeks, and tore my meniscus in practice. I had to get another surgery and recuperate from that, and then just didn't really do too much after that. Swole up to pretty close to 370 pounds.
Yeah.
One day decided to walk into a CrossFit gym and started going from there.
So what was there like a turning point where you were kind of maybe fed up, or what made you decide to like kind of seek out getting some fitness or seek out a CrossFit? What was kind of motivation behind that?
Couldn't really tell you. It's just one day just kind of decided to stop being unhealthy, and I wanted to try to do something.
So what was it like going into the CrossFit gym, and can you remember like the first day of workouts? Like what was that like, and how did that feel? And
first day of workouts, had a tough time doing, I think it was like 15 sit-ups and a couple push-ups. It was a pretty tough workout for me at that point, and kind of stuck it through. Was pretty sore for a couple of weeks just from some minor movements and calisthenics, and went away, started getting better, started slimming down, losing weight, and feeling better, getting stronger, and then did that for, let's say, it's like 6 or 7 months. Lost a whole bunch of weight, got down to it's about 300 pounds. I lost almost 70 pounds doing it. And then just one day realized I wanted to kind of see how much I could lift.
Yeah,
I was already kind of the bigger,
you kind of realized,
stronger guy
sure,
in the gym.
that without like maybe much effort, you were kind of excelling at maybe some of the barbell stuff.
Yeah.
So when did you kind of like maybe realize that maybe you were, I guess, naturally inclined to just kind of lifting, or just had like a little bit more strength than like the average person?
Probably there was one day we just did like a max deadlift in the gym. And then like a 20-minute workout, I worked up to, I think it was like 530 or 540, and everybody there was going crazy, but kind of felt like I could do a lot more.
Yeah, you're like, this is like still kind of light.
Yeah.
So I guess, so then, you started to kind of get a little taste of the strength, and I think that's been one really great thing about CrossFit. I think it gets more people exposed to the barbell, and it gets more people just exposed to strength training. So even if maybe they come in, like yourself, maybe they came in for fitness, they start to get exposed to all these other different things, whether it be weightlifting, powerlifting movements, gymnastics. and they may actually find maybe a specific discipline that they're like maybe a little bit more inclined for, or maybe they get really into endurance type stuff. So what made you, I guess, did you start to like research like powerlifting a little bit? Like did you start to kind of like, how did that
Yeah, actually, I stumbled upon some of like Mark Bell's like older videos and trying to figure out how to deadlift more, squat more, kind of, looking at techniques.
Yeah,
and
just how to maximize your potential a little bit.
Then I started doing, little extracurriculars here and there at CrossFit. I'd stay after an open gym, do
some extra strength
try
work.
to do a strength workout that I found on the internet, and started progressing from there. And then just one day I just kind of got a little fed up with doing burpees.
Yeah, you're
running a lot,
kind of like done with this stuff.
Clean and jerks, and I don't have really the body type to try to do these big overhead ollie lifts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything. There's obviously going to be some people that maybe have a little bit more flexibility, or they may have just they pick up the moves a little bit quicker. I know, like even with myself, like it would take me months and months just to like sort of kind of get a rack position for a clean. So just for me, like it just never really felt like natural. And other people, they can kind of just get right into it. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. And I think one of the things that's great about powerlifting, and why this is called powerlifting for the people, is that something like a squat, a press, a pull, there's always like some modification that you could do. Even if it's just squatting your body weight, or squatting with a light kettlebell, or doing like a light dumbbell press or a light barbell press. Like we have bars that are 20 pounds, 35 pounds here that, like you can start with a broomstick, or something like, weightlifting, like a clean and jerk or a snatch. Like sometimes you might not be able to do that. It may take you several months just to be even able to get into the position,
right?
From day one.
A couple of problems I had there, and pulled some muscles in my arms trying to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the other tough thing about weightlifting compared to powerlifting is that you can't really do like weightlifting slow.
Right. Like
it has to be done kind of, that's the nature of the sport. Like in order to rack or catch the clean or catch a snatch, it has to be done fast. So something like a power lift, you could add a lot of pauses. You could do it slowly, kind of do it really methodically. So there's just some, not to say that one's better than the other, but obviously, it's just kind of one of the reasons why we are going to keep pushing powerlifting and strength training, because it is so scalable and it can really help a lot of people. So just for people listening, also just a little bit like, what are some of like your best numbers that you've hit like in the gym so far, like with the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, like where?
In the gym, I guess it was 2 training cycles ago, I got a 655 squat with reps. Deadlift was 666 pounds.
Yeah.
And then bench I've got 367 was my best bench in the gym.
Nice. Yeah, so you're hitting some real big numbers. I know with the squat, you definitely, like the 650 moved really fast. So probably, if we had to max in the gym, you're probably even closer, probably 675 to 700, which is really great, especially for such a short time. For the people listening, like what has been like the difference between kind of just doing some stuff on your own from the internet and versus having, training with a team and getting some coaching, and what has that been like for you?
I mean, it's monumental. For me personally, I find it hard to just walk into a cookie cutter gym, commercial gym, and do stuff. I don't know. I just don't have the maybe the mental capacity to kind of, all right, this is what I want to do, and put all these different workouts together. I gotta plan ahead and figure that out. Or I seem to do better when I've got coaches
more guidance.
Guidance telling me what to do, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then one thing we try and do, especially you're starting to get a little bit more advanced, even though you're kind of newer to it, like you do want to take some ownership of your own training, even if you have a coach or not. And there's sometimes where like I may let's like let you kind of figure things out on your own, and then you can, okay, this was a mistake, or I probably should have stopped at this rep, or so there's definitely like a learning process. And it's not like that you're having your hand held 24/7, but just having someone to get feedback up from, get guidance, obviously have someone to help with the technique, and especially as you get stronger, especially like in something like a squat where safety becomes like a concern. If you're missing a 600-pound squat versus like a 300-pound squat, there's going to be different like consequences for that. And if you're kind of by yourself in a commercial gym, it can be done. but it's definitely, you're gonna have a lot more hurdles to kind of,
Right.
to jump over. Besides like having better equipment and things like that, just having the people around you for support. So, anything else that kind of sticks in your head that you feel like's been a real big driver of your progress, like specifically for you, that's really helped you kind of get stronger and progress?
I mean, just having, I'd say, smaller groups here, and, you find, a friend to kind of go against every time, and
A little friendly competition.
Yeah, a little competition here and there, and signing up for, a meet kind of puts that, lights the fire under your ass to
Sure.
get going, get moving, and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I think that when you kind of pay for it, especially, and you kind of set that on the calendar, then like, even if you kind of feel like you're a little tired or whatever, like you start to get more serious, you can be
Right.
more committed. Because even if you're not competitive, just doing a competition for yourself, just to kind of help kind of allow you to adhere to the program a little bit more, just be a little bit more consistent with your
Right.
workouts, put a little bit more effort into your workouts, so you're usually going to see like your best gains for that. And there's a balance between, as you get stronger, you do like kind of want to hold yourself back a little bit at times, and there's going to be times where you want to push as well. So I think that's kind of helps to have the people to kind of, you don't necessarily just want a cheerleader, you want someone to actually give you some feedback, like, hey, like that was great, nice job, but also like here's some things to work on, or like, hey, you're backgrounded a little bit here, or your knee shifted a little bit here. So I think all those things, especially you've had like a lot of injuries in the past, and still like kind of working through some now. So do you have any advice for people to like, as far as staying healthy or kind of just staying in the game like longer, maybe some mistakes that you've made that you wish that maybe you could maybe go back and fix yourself?
Yeah, when the coach tells you not to go for the next rep, don't do it.
Yeah, usually like, there's a reason for it. So yeah, I think that's important sometimes, like leaving one in the tank. And then just...
Can't max out every day.
Yeah, that's big. I think also too, like just a miss not only is not great, physiologically and physically, but also just from a mental standpoint. Just if you'd rather like, I think it's always good to be like, well, I could have done another. Like that's a better frame of mind than like, fuck, I missed that. Yeah. Not safe for work. Sorry guys, but so we'll put the disclaimer on the podcast. But so I think just like those things, like and understanding what the intent of the day is.
Right.
So like there's some days where it's like supposed to be a speed workout. If you're working up, if the speed kind of turns into heavy stuff, then you're not going to be like recovered for maybe the max day that's coming up down the pike. And if you're doing volume, I think a big mistake a lot of people make when they're doing like say 3 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 5 is, they end up working up to like a top set of 5, and they're not really getting a lot of condensed work. And maybe only one set is hard versus like, let me pull back a little bit and try and get as much work and as much volume. Like want to use like a heavy weight, but something that's manageable for those sets and reps. And you don't always have to like be grinding out. And then also you're gonna get to the point where you're starting to use bad technique, and that's gonna ingrain a poor motor pattern. And then you're kind of playing catch up at that point, which is not good. So any other advice for I guess if someone's maybe starting out? They want to get into lifting, like what's some advice you can kind of give them?
Just try it. Just walk in and do it. Might change your life. Yeah,
I guess that's a good point. You never know like how much you're going to love it or how much it's going to impact you. I think for a lot of us here, like also like I think a lot of people are also become like friends like outside of the gym, like the bonds that you make. Also, not just they go beyond like the gym walls, but. I think it is a big thing. Like you're sweating when you're around like-minded people that are really kind of working toward a similar goal.
Right.
I think that's it's just going to allow you to kind of bring you up. So we try to keep things very positive here, and we're definitely going to work hard. We're going to put in work, but also we try to have a good time doing it as well.
Absolutely.
So, all right, cool. So this was kind of short and sweet podcast, and now we got to get ready to. Lift some big weights today, get our heads right? Hopefully we'll have get some good stuff to report. So we're both gonna hit some heavy squats today, so this will be fun. So we're kicking the flip flops off, and then we'll start to get ready, get warmed up. For people that may want to follow your training or like what you're doing, where can they learn more about you?
Oh, man, at @bhorn, BE_horn on
Nice.
Instagram.
And you're rocking the Haas.
Rocking the Houseware, Houseware official.
There
Use
you
my
go.
code, Brandon10.
Coupon codes, baby. That's what it's all about, right? All right, so we'll give Brandon a follow. Thank you guys so much for watching. So we're definitely going to try to showcase more of our lifters that have had a lot of success with the program. There's a lot to kind of go through, so we're going to try to, not just super strong people, but just people that have made a lot of progress. And I know, like I said, especially in the squat and the deadlift, you made a tremendous progress, and I know you're just getting started. So we're looking forward to see what you can do in the future. If the podcast helped you, please share it. Please give us a 5-star review. It helps other people find us. Definitely check out the links below if you want to support the program. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.